Hey, welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Wednesday Wisdom on the Educational AD Podcast. We'll be right back with today's Wednesday Wisdom guest, but we want to give a shout out to our partners, the Florida Coaches Coalition, the Global Community of Women in High School Sports, Vital Signs Wall of Fame, and We Coach. You've heard me say before that these are four great organizations. You need to add them to your network. And now, don't hit that fast forward button. Stay with us for the next 4 minutes as we give our sponsorship shout outs. These are all great products that you should have working for you. So here we go. We want to say thanks to Home Campus, which is the exclusive high school and state association information management platform of the podcast. Home Campus is your one-stop platform for scheduling, for eligibility and clearance, for association connecting, and so much more. As an AD, I used Home Campus for years, and it was just fantastic. And the Home Campus team was great to work with too. So to get started, go to home-campus.com and get signed up. That's home-campus.com. We also want to say thanks to Gipper. Go to Gipper.com. See how athletic directors are creating world-class content for their school's social media channel. Mention the podcast, and you'll get a nice discount. That's Gipper.com. We also want to say thanks to Wall of Fame by Vital Signs. You know, they're on a mission to bring your school's legacy to life. Their interactive touchscreen video consoles allow you to show the highlights of your best and brightest, both past and present, in academics, athletics, and the arts. They also let you tell more compelling stories to better engage your audience. So go to vitalsignswalloffame.com, check out their great products, and when you're ready to order, use the link vitalsignswalloffame.com/Jake, and you'll get a nice discount from them. vitalsignswalloffame.com. Check them out today. We also want to thank Snap Mobile, the parent company, for an entire suite of platforms designed to help you do your job better. Go to snapraise.com. You can check out the entire suite, and you can check out Snap Raise, their fundraising platform that I've used with great success, and you can too. They even have a program where you'll get your funding before you actually start your fundraiser. I don't think anyone else offers that. Go to snapraise.com and check them out today. That's snapraise.com. We want to say thanks to Sideline Interactive, indoor score tables and video boards. Go to sidelineinteractive.com, schedule a live web demo, see their tables and their boards in action. They not only generate income for your department, but they also create the ultimate game day experience for your student athletes. That's sidelineinteractive.com. We also want to thank Hometown Ticketing. Go to hometownticketing.com. Their pros are going to show you how to set up and sell tickets online for all your events, not just athletics. And here's the best part. Every step of the way, you will have a dedicated client success manager that's providing you hands-on support. That's every step of the way. Go to hometownticketing.com and get started. Simple and easy online ticketing. We want to say thanks to Huddle. Go to huddle.com and change the way you see the game. As a football coach, I used Huddle for years, but when I became an athletic director, I made sure our school was a Huddle school, and our coaches just loved the professional service that Huddle provided. We believe in sports, and teams believe in Huddle. Join the 6 million users. Turn your school into a Huddle school. We also want to say thanks to District 1. Go to district1.com. That's WON. And you're going to feel like you've won because District 1 offers you custom uniforms, premium uniforms, with on-time delivery in 20 business days or less. And here's the best part. You can order one at a time replacement pieces. So there's no need to ever replace a full set of uniforms when you only need one or two. Go to district1.com. Once again, that's WON on the back end. Click the Team Gear button and get your free quote at district1.com. And we want to say thanks to Athletic Surveys by LifeTrack. Athletic surveys are a quick, easy, and affordable way for you to collect comprehensive data that allows you to evaluate and improve your entire program. Athletic directors usually only hear from the complainers, the 2%. And athletic surveys will connect you with the 2%, but they're also going to connect you with the 98% that love and support your program, which is a tremendously valuable tool to have when you're talking with that frustrated parent, your principal, or even your school board. So go to athleticsurveys.com. Check them out today. Let them help you take your athletic program from good to great. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Wednesday Wisdom on the Educational AD Podcast. We're going back to the great state of Washington, where I grew up, and visit with a good friend, Dr. Cara Cocchiarella. She is a college professor. She's a longtime, she was an athlete. She's a coach. She's an author and presents on a local, a regional, and a national level. And she's part of our Wednesday Wisdom team. So, Dr. Cara Cocchiarella, welcome back to Wednesday Wisdom.
Thanks, Jake.
Well,
Happy to be here.
You and I were talking during the break. It's for our listeners, we're recording this right at the end of May. So it's going to be a couple weeks till you hear it, but it's a busy time for coaches, a busy time for ADs. And, Cara, I know you've got a great presentation for us. So what do you have for our listeners this time on Wednesday Wisdom?
Yeah, you bet. I think timing wise, hopefully this will actually be pretty good timing and maybe something that ADs may want to think about over the summer, kind of decide how they may want to roll something like this out. And as always, I'm always open to chatting with anybody out there who wants to talk more about this stuff. I absolutely love it. So the last time that I was on your show, Jake, we talked a little bit about athletic directors, sports leaders, supporting coaches with the how to coach skills, as opposed to the what to coach, which really allows us to recognize the value and support the art of coaching, right? So we're doing ourselves a favor in recognizing how complex coaching really is, and also the fact that coaches can find their X's and O's and their sport specific information really almost anywhere. And you and I also have talked about some different coaches that I have worked with or conversations that I've had, and one that's just really stood out to me over time. And I think about this a lot when I think about working with the different athletic directors who I work with out there and the conversations I have. And there was a coach who, I would say this was about 5 years ago, that I was hoping to work with. And this was somebody who I had kind of crossed paths with a couple different times. And, she was jumping into kind of her first head coaching role. And she had been asked by athletic directors and district athletic directors to really try to take on this program that needed a lot of help. They needed a lot of help building some culture, making some real shifts in everything that was happening with this program. And it was a basketball program that, she was really excited to be a head coach, loves the game, loves working with kids. She's getting her master's in teaching right now, just a super excited individual, doing great things for young people. And, she and I had talked about well, would this be a place where I, as a consultant, might be able to come in and kind of help support her a little bit? And we kind of got things going, and I talked a little to the ADs again at the building level and at the district level. And, I was very excited to help this coach really get to the heart of developing a strong culture. And what ended up happening was I found out that the athletic directors actually, they wanted me to talk to her and kind of focus on things like when to press and what kind of an offense to run. And again, some of these X's and O's. And I really feel like there was a missed opportunity there. They had a coach who was so excited to do really great work and put in the work to build a strong foundation in a program that could have success long term. And they minimized her coaching and the complexity of the work she wanted to do to the X's and O's. And, here's a coach who's still working really hard, making improvements little by little, but kind of grinding, working herself to the bone a little to make this little bit of progress. And she still doesn't have that support that she hoped to have. And still struggling, with trying to develop some of those foundations of a quality program. And it's one of those places where, as a consultant, I'm very tempted to just help, like step in, help her out, do it for free, do all the things. But it's a story that really sticks out in my mind as a place where, as athletic directors, as leaders in sport, and those people who support coaches, we have so many opportunities to help coaches build a real strong foundation for programs. And this was one instance where, I hope that eventually the tables will turn for her. She's continuing to ask for help, continuing to try to find it and support in the places that she needs. And I really hope she gets it. And I just think an important story to kind of remind ADs about, because we know whether we're coaching or we're leading coaches, we tend to do significantly better when we start with identifying our core values, which doesn't mean we're not going to be competitive. We can absolutely build that competition into those values. If you have school values, so this is stuff that I like to work with coaches on. I really like to help coaches kind of set themselves up, like I said, for long-term success. And it's about doing the right thing, making sure we know who we are, making sure we know what matters most to us, and building that into our everyday practices. And so, developing those core values, I think a lot of athletic departments have them. If not, some will utilize school values. As long as, if your athletic values are at least closely related to school values, that can tend to be a good thing, right? Athletes are hearing the same thing day in, day out at school and at practice. Using values that ideally, sometimes they end up spelling something. You've got an acronym that's pretty cool. But I also have seen people pick values that really don't mean much to them because they need a letter B to spell the word bear, because that's their mascot. So they pick something with the letter B that doesn't really mean much to them. And that can be a little bit of kind of put a little bit of a drag on something that can be really, really powerful. And I just think, as ADs, again, this is stuff that I love working with coaches and athletic directors and leaders on. There are a lot of ways that we can help coaches to utilize these values that we spend so much time building, that they can really apply in a way that's meaningful to them. So utilizing some principles of andragogy, or adult learning, to allow coaches to determine how these values might be demonstrated by themselves and in their programs. Maybe we bring them together to have some conversations and help one another build some camaraderie and some chemistry across programs in the athletic department. And really, one of my favorite things about starting with your core values is that it creates a platform for supporting coaches, so that you all as ADs can determine, you've got shared language, you can determine how you want to support your coaches throughout the year. And they can also play a really important role in terms of assessing and having coaches to self-assess and guiding them through that process. So a lot that we can do if we determine our core values, communicate with those values with our coaches, as opposed to just talking at them about them, and helping to establish this real fundamental piece that helps us to support coaches with the art of coaching, because coaches bring so much to the table and can be very, very different, but we put ourselves in that position when we establish those core values, and we come in as leaders ready to help support from that place of clarity. And I just, that's kind of what's standing out to me at this point, Jake, as we have these discussions. So
No, and again, you covered a lot of ground there, but
Mhm.
very good stuff. The one of the things that jumped out at me was just the communication or the desire to communicate, but it wasn't happening with that one coach and the athletic director. And I think it's something that we need to look out for, as whether it's, as you said, head coaches or ADs or consultants. Um, making sure that there's that communication connection. And what the coach needed was some help in this area, but what the AD or the leader was providing, it was good help, but it wasn't what they needed at that time. Just so critical. And for core values, I remember as an undergraduate college student 100 years ago, one of our professors said to the class, what is your philosophy of physical education? And it was a thinking exercise, but I was thinking, I don't know what the hell my philosophy is. I'm an undergraduate student. What are the choices? And so, as that question has come up for me in discussions over the years, I would tell young coaches, this is our philosophy. Okay. Now, if you want to work at our school, you're going to embrace this philosophy. And whether it's, playing time at the middle school level or, teaching skills and developing the whole student as opposed to just we're selling out to win. And of course we want to win, but yeah, the organization, the department, there's a philosophy, the school, if you will, because we're education-based athletics. There's a school philosophy. So having your own philosophy is great, but you better make sure it fits with your team and the people, both, that you're working for and working with. So very cool
Yeah.
stuff. Okay.
Yeah. I think there can be some really fun, engaging ways to involve coaches in conversations around those core values and to help ensure that there's some program alignment and that as ADs or leaders in sport that we're supporting coaches in really, living out those values and demonstrating them and uplifting them in our communities and lots of cool stuff that can happen. It can be a really fun way to get everybody on the same page, but allow them to demonstrate those values maybe a little bit differently. It's still what matters. You're not taking the individual out of the coach. You're not trying to turn them all into robots, but that we're providing them that support and that structure. And I think that can be really an essential part of the work that we do as leaders.
Right. You use that word alignment. Yeah. You can tell programs when you walk into a school, when you watch them, you can tell that those coaches, the ADs, and even the student athletes, there is alignment. They understand the mission, they embrace it. And consequently, you can tell when there's not alignment there because it just sticks out in such a big way. Cara, always great spending time with you. I wish we had more time because really some important stuff for leaders. But if one of our listeners wanted to reach out, and listeners, I encourage you to do this, pick your brain a little bit more. What's the best way that they can get a hold of you?
Yeah, the best way I would say is just through my website. My business website is www.winwin-consulting.com. So I don't know why I throw the www in there. Is that we all know that, right?
Hey,
Win-win-consulting.com is the
it,
best way to reach me, Jake.
it goes along with the win-win. And for one of our
Yeah.
any of our new listeners, tell them about your book and how they can get a hold of your book.
Oh yeah, we've got a book out. It's called Winning Well: Maximizing Coach and Athlete Wellness. Um, and it is available on Amazon. It's available through Roman and Littlefield, the publisher. But yeah, Winning Well, check it out. Really pretty easy, fun read, I think, and at least that's what we've heard from others as well. And we have an online course coming out that maybe we'll chat about next time, Jake, that should be available any minute here. Coachingwithwellness.com if people want to check out the online course. But that's associated with the book and really just geared around supporting wellness and coaches and also helping them to support wellness in their athletes, really a holistic view of wellness. So yeah, Winning Well, Good fun book to pick up. Lots of conversations we could have about that as well.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that. Winning Well and
Mhm.
WinWin. Check out the website. It's all Dr. Cara Cocchiarella. I don't think we mentioned this, from Clark College in Vancouver, Washington, but also author, consultant, and speaker. Cara, again, thanks so much for sharing with us today, and all the best as we both get ready to enjoy the summer.
Absolutely. You too, Jake. Thanks.
Okay. For listeners, we do this every single week, and we upload the Zoom recordings to the Educational AD Podcast YouTube channel. We appreciate you listening today. Come back just about every day for new content on the Educational AD Podcast. We'll see you next time. Hey, once again, we appreciate you listening. Want to thank our sponsors: Athletic Surveys, Huddle, Wall of Fame by Vital Signs, Gipper, Sideline Interactive, Snap Mobile, Home Campus, District 1, and Hometown Ticketing. Check them all out. They're all great sponsors. You really need to add them to your network. We'll see you next time on Wednesday Wisdom.